Hey, I'm Birdman.
I'm Bruce.
Time to get on target at
The Hub. And here we are, part 3.
Almost looks like, I feel like we didn't even
like we didn't even change seats.
right, like nothing happened. I don't know why.
Deja vu.
But hey, I'm in California, I think.
Okay, I'm serious. I'm live.
You're here?
I'm at the shop.
You're at the shop.
I'm
Go
at
see
the
Bruce.
cage. I'm at
Go
the
see
cage.
Bruce while this is on air.
Yep.
That'll be a really weird experience.
You're not even here, actually. You're
I'm a hologram.
yes, please.
So we've been talking about being a good steward of guns
Yes.
And gun ownership, and now we need to discuss talk about how we discuss gun ownership, because it does come up.
We can only talk about ourselves, but we've heard it discussed ways we'd rather not hear it.
Yeah.
So we'll just start with that. So I think people ask, they come in and ask questions about guns, and they'll do that, or they'll ask me. They normally wouldn't ask me unless people in this town know me being a teacher here for so long, and they've run into you, they know you no matter where you go.
Well, it's the question.
They may ask me questions.
The one question, it's the first question,
Yep.
is why, especially for people who don't get it, why do you need a gun?
Correct.
And my answer has always been, well, I hope I never need a gun. Okay. Why do you need insurance?
Well, why do you need a good tires in your car?
Why do you need a
water?
spare tire?
Yeah.
Why?
It's actually death insurance,
Why
not
do you
life
need?
insurance.
Why do you go buy extra water whenever there's an emergency?
Yeah.
Why do they clear out the water like
And then
it's like why? It has to do with what could happen, not
Yes.
what does happen.
Well, people ask, especially ones that don't have guns, because they'll come in and talk to me and they know I'm a gun guy.
Right.
If they didn't know I'm a gun guy, you wouldn't know I'm a gun guy because my guns aren't visible, which is that way I don't have any people come up and ask me questions about
Right.
it. But here they may ask me, and I think it depends on how guns fit in your lifestyle. I try to explain that guns fit in my lifestyle, our family's lifestyle, as part of our security, our own security. Like you'd have your 2-day plan if the electricity goes out, have a gun for maybe there's an animal situation, or we live someplace that the police, in fact, where we live in the county, I think it's 20 minutes for them to get there, and we need to be our own first responders. In action, we have to be. So it's not that we're flaunting it or running around with guns. We just have it as part of our security.
But what I do is I don't give them reasons why. I actually ask them questions so they have to think about it. And the biggest question I finally asked them is, look, if there was an emergency and the world went crazy and you had to go into a neighborhood and you came into my neighborhood and you knew you were going to have to fight to get something to survive, and you had to take it from one of the houses on the street, would you come to my house first to fight me? You might come to ask me nicely, but if you knew it's going to be a fight, would you come to my house or would you try a different house? And they're always like, well, oh yeah, I'd try to. That's why. It's a protection. It's defense. It's not run out to kill people. And that's then the, you have to be calm about it. You can't get excited, because they'll get excited. And then the second it starts getting excited, you almost have to go in reverse and just go lower and lower and lower to the point of, you know what? I don't want to upset you anymore, so let's just let it lay.
And I think I try to be calm, of course, because it gets heated. And then they bring up, and you can always tell where they get the information from. And I'm talking about the fringes, not regular people.
Yes.
The real small percentage. They get their information, must be from the same place, because it's a talking point. Well, it's funny how we hear talking points from the far left, and they have their own talking points. I think the far right might have their own talking points.
They all do. Yes, they do.
And so when I hear that, I know that somebody wants to argue, and they're waiting to bait me into some discussion on guns. And I slowly walk away from that respectfully. Because most of those talking points, as we know, when they get both sides, they're so far off.
Because I always get, and I'll get the families that'll be arguing, like a mom or something. Like, wouldn't you do anything to protect your child? Yes. Then why don't you own a gun?
Correct. Why don't you own it, or why don't you have a special alarm system? Why don't you live next to a police department?
Yeah.
Why do you live out in a nice home in the suburbs? Not suburbs, but we're out in the county.
Urban, yeah.
Where the police are not there to take care of it. So it should be part of your theory on how you're going to make things happen if you're by yourself for a week or something like that. But I refuse to kind of get into the talking point war,
right?
Because it's not. It's like, well, I want to carry mine out because I have the right to do that, and damn if I excuse me. No, there's nothing wrong with damn.
Yeah.
Damn if I.
That's how you stop water.
If I make correct. Damn if I make you uncomfortable, that is my right to make you uncomfortable. Well, I'm going to argue a little bit of that because it's like yelling fire in a theater.
Well, okay. So TMZ just offered that as an argument with Colin Noir on TMZ whenever they had him come on to talk about Second Amendment, and they said, well, the First Amendment, you can't yell fire in a theater. That's never been protected by the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects your ability to redress your government.
Correct.
So it's your ability to say, hey, you're wrong and that's wrong. It does not give you the right to say whatever you want, whenever you want, wherever you want. That's not a freedom at all. The freedom is you can say to your government and you can talk about your government and not have the government punish you.
Like some countries.
Okay, that's what the First Amendment protects. It does not protect any other type of speech.
But if you get into these discussions, you're never going to win, number one, and it's
Right.
going to get heated, and other people are going to hear it, and they're going to think, oh, there's the gun people again. And it doesn't look, how we present ourselves, do we look respectful? Are we calm? Do we respect other people's feelings? If we can, do we conceal carry?
There are millions of guns in the United, hundreds of millions of guns in the United
Somewhere like
States.
400 million,
Yeah.
probably more, but they'd say 400 million.
And if it was rampant issues with guns, if it was a true health crisis, people would be dying all over the place. It'd be like opioids. Look at opioids. That's an actual health crisis. Okay, you've got but if you think about that, do you know anybody that's overdosed on opioids?
I don't personally.
No, but tens of thousands have.
Yeah.
But tens of thousands, the numbers aren't the same for gun situation. And you got to take away suicide.
Yeah.
Okay, take that out of it. The biggest issue is they concentrate on a gun that has the least amount of deaths. When if they wanted to concentrate on guns, they should talk overall. But then overall, they still don't have the stats. So
You have to talk about knives next.
that's why they start bringing children into it and doing all the pivoting things.
I think
We can't give them, but my point is they're going to do all that, and you can stand up there and say, no, that's wrong, but you got to do it calmly. But, and don't take it. I mean, don't say, oh no, you can call them on the carpet saying, no, that's not factual, no, that's not factual. But don't give them any ammunition to shoot back at you. Don't run around and make it look threatening. When you make a gun look threatening by how you carry it, how you talk about it, or how you demonstrate it, then that's the issue.
And I think how you carry it is important. If you're carrying it, and I'm going to use a term, I'm not sure if you could call it professionally or not, or somebody that's used to carrying a gun, they're going to have the gun more secure.
Right.
It's not going to be hanging and flopping.
Yep.
It's not going to make people nervous.
And being a gun owner and knowing people with guns, I've seen people carry guns. It makes me nervous. I'm like, dude, you're like like the kid could grab that from you right now and think it's a toy gun and be shooting it in 3 seconds, and you're not even thinking about it. There's no retention on it. It's behind your back.
So we have to show respect
for
the firearm we're carrying. We have to show respect for the other people, and we have to present ourselves as professional as we can as being involved with guns. We carry a gun. We help people find the right gun. We teach them how to be safe with guns, and we teach them to respect the gun and other people's feelings. So that's the key. How we present it is going to make a big difference because we only hear one side. We don't hear about all the people we train here that have guns that nobody knows because you can't see their gun, and they fall in the middle. A lot of them have never had a gun. So,
and I'll tell you, this carrying open, I used to carry open and thought, oh no, this is fine. And I still carry open when hiking or things like that. But in public, no. And I used to and thought, oh, okay, but I saw reactions and I saw how people handled it. And when I started just going to concealed carry all the time, I don't even have the discussion anymore. In fact, it's funny because I'll have discussions about people who tell me things about guns, then how they're bad and how they do this and that and everything, and he wouldn't trust anybody as he's having a conversation with me as I'm carrying a gun.
yeah.
So
and that's what we need. We need people that have a gun and get permits and all the thing you need to legally do it, whatever state you're in, and act normal.
But at no point, I got to tell you, at no point in having these discussions I've ever gone, well, really? And pulled my gun out to show them or showed them that I'm carrying a gun.
Because once you take the gun out, then it's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's okay in the holster.
Yeah.
It's okay in a case, just like the rules we have in the hub here on the wall. We allow guns, that's fine, as long as they're not in your hand.
Yeah.
They can be in your, in fact, half the customers probably have guns you can't see. So, getting back to, I think just common sense is gone now.
Yeah.
I think we've lost common sense. And it's crazy times right now. So I think we need to show some common sense and it's our job to try to get more people to help protect our rights better.
It's that whole honey attracts a lot more people than hitting them over the head thing.
Yeah, since you have to.
Bees or something, I don't know, something about bees.
What was that? Sadie Hawkins Day dances used to hit the I don't know.
Very cool.
Bring that, that'd be
so
abuse.
Be nice to everybody, talk respectfully, understand that they don't have your viewpoints or the experience, and there's a lot of talking points out there that have spun them for some time to scare them because that's the way they try to control people is through fear. So they got to make them scared of the guns to get what they want.
And one last thing, I get a lot of emails from all kinds of different people. I'm starting to research some of the stuff they send me. It's not even true about 30% of the time. This is what's happening. Did you ever look at that and go, where is it? So we have to be careful about what we say. Let's just don't keep spreading things that aren't true.
There you go.
So learn the right thing, be nice.
And sharing something on Facebook
Yeah.
just to see isn't an excuse, okay? If you're going to share responsibly when you do that kind of stuff, okay? Because I've heard a lot of people put up, hey, that's not true, and they're like, oh, well, I just posted, I just shared it. No, that's not cool. You're representing something, pushing it forward, propagating it. You're supporting it by doing that. So be responsible. That's all. Cool. Hey,
I'm ready.
I'm Birdman.
And I'm Bruce, and be safe.
Ready?
Yeah.
You going to tell them?
We already did the, okay, we're going back to pledge breaks. They seem to work better. We get more money that way.
Operators are standing by.
Yes, thank you. And keep subscribing.